that one day my daughter will come through the door and find me. And I was astonished and I was shocked. I told my husband at that time, when my fiance, I said, what is he talking about? He didn't know that I existed. He said, I have known you existed. I have known you went to school. I have known where you went to school. I have paid for your school fees. Things that I did not know growing up, because there are two sides to the story. Now, what is my point of telling you this personal experience? When I began to sit down with this parent, I discovered that the other parent had a problem, right? They couldn't communicate, they couldn't converse, they couldn't come to an agreement. And true to it, now I'm a grown-up, I can be able to distinguish between a toxic person and a person who is not toxic. So I can confirm that it is possible. It was difficult to deal with this person. But what shocked me was, Eli, he's in touch with all his children. So this person has other wives and has other children, but he has kept touch with all those children apart from me.
Very, very good evening. My name is Likuyani Eli, and you're right in time for the Family Edition. On Family Edition, we discuss matters family and family relationships, including the people that you bring home and you call your family. So before I get this all started, remember, family sometimes need some help, and this help we refer to them as domestic managers over time. But these domestic managers, but how much value do we give them? How much of importance do they play when it comes to managing our homes and family affairs? And to help me dissect that, I have Nyokabi GK Kamau. Good evening, girl. How are you?
Good evening, Eli. How are you? Today I'm going to be you. I'm going to be relaxed and cool. How are you, Eli?
Why are you playing games with me?
I am trying to be you, calm and collected and speaking slowly. Hi, Eli. How are you?
I'm great, Nyokabi. Kindly introduce yourself to those who don't know you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Nyokabi GK Kamau, and I am your all-time relationship coach. And I talk to you matters relationships, matters toxic relationships, matters everything to do with relationships. Your relationship with food, your relationship with your in-laws, your relationship with your employer, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your romantic partner and your children. And tonight, because it is a Saturday, it is a family edition. So today we'll be talking about your relationship with your house managers. How should you, as the wife, relate to the house manager? How should you, as the husband, relate to the house manager? How should your children relate with the house manager? So our topic today is touching every person who has children, every person who has a house manager in their home. This topic is touching on you. So I ask you to invite all of your friends, share, let everybody know that we are here. And then leave your comments and notify us. Let us know where you're watching us from. Ask us your questions, and we are ready to answer each and every question that you post. So welcome to the show. Eli, why do you have an ambulance in the background?
Well, I just want to confirm to you guys, sometimes the ambulance make me think there is trouble coming. But of course, everybody that is watching, remember to share. The hashtag is Art and Heart Responding to Live. You can equally tag GK Kamau, Tina Kagia, Responding to Live, Art and Heart, and yours truly, Lekuyani Eli. Let's get this started. Nyokabi.
Yes.
Preparing to come to this show, one of the fundamental things that stood out was this question here. How do you source for your domestic help / how do you train them in readiness for work?
We start with the sourcing. First of all, we need to find a domestic, let's call them our domestic assistants. Today we have upgraded them. We are not calling them house helps. So where do you source them? Where do you get them from? ideally, I would recommend that you get a domestic assistant from family members or from friends, from people who you know in the rural areas. Identify the kind of a person you want. Please categorically explain which tribe you want, why you want them, and what age. Should they have children? Should they not have children? Should they have families? Should they be young girls? Should they be a woman? You know, when I say a woman, I mean somebody of middle age, between 45 and that age, who can be able to work. Are they clean? So sourcing them from a reputable source is very important. But mostly in this country of ours, Ellie, people source their house managers from wanaitangwaje, watu wa brokers. Are they
Bureau,
called
bureaus,
bureaus?
house girl
Yes.
bureaus. Yes.
There are so many advertisements in town as you walk along that way. Oh, we provide trained house managers. Call us on this number. And then the story changes. They come to your home, Ellie. Then you
Mm-hmm.
pay for their transport and you pay 2,500 to have them come to your home, and then anafanya kazi siku mbili anatoroka, pesa yako inapotea. So getting a house manager from a reputable source is very, very important. And then with somebody who you actually know, who you have a reference, before you can even build a rapport with this person, have a reference, know where you can find this person. Jua kwao, jua mama yake, jua baba yake, jua bwana yake, know the children, know where you can source this person if need arises. Because for me, I feel it should be against the law, or is it against the law? We need to find out from one of our learned friends that is it okay for you to hold the official documents? Because for me, I feel that's not enough. Holding, maybe you should have a copy of the same, but really holding it, for me, I feel is not enough. You need to actually know them a bit, because you're inviting these people into your home. So where you source them is very important. Now the training bit, you can either go to bureaus that actually do train their house managers on how to clean, how to cook, how to manage a home. But then again, every home is unique, Ailing. But the way I deal with my home is not the same way you deal with your home. So I feel as the owner of that residence, you should be the one who is training your house manager. Give yourself maybe a week or two just to orientate them. Take them through orientation and let them know what are your ground rules, because training includes understanding the ground rules, setting the boundaries, defining and deliberating on the responsibilities that come with that particular job. You need to highlight and know this person. You're responsible for cooking breakfast, lunch, and supper. You're responsible for snacks. You're responsible for cleaning the kitchen, the bathroom, the sitting room. Apart, and don't clean my bedroom. You're responsible for washing clothes and polishing shoes and ironing children clothes. Sometimes it's important that you orientate this person and you let them know what are their responsibility. If I was asked Ellie, I would
Yeah.
have a binding contract that easily we can go through with you, and we can discuss them, whether you can speak English or you can speak Kiswahili. We sign this contract together. We involve an advocate, we agree on the terms of payment, and we have an understanding of what is expected of you. Because the thing about house helps, Ellie, to answer this question of how to source and how to train, is that we don't do it like we do it in a corporate industry. We are so casual about it and so
Mm-hmm.
lightheaded about it. And that's why we end up in the problems that we are in. But if you are to treat it like a profession, the same way if I was to get employed somewhere, there is a level of professionalism that is required from me. There's a level of work ethics that is required of me. There's a contract, there's a binding contract, there's an understanding between me and my employer about the timing schedule, about my
Yeah.
responsibility and obligations. You see, if we have that kind of an understanding with our house managers as we source them and as we train them, then you're less likely to get into trouble. And if you deal with them at a professional level, then you'll not be calling them names, Ellie. As an
Mm-hmm.
employer, you will not be there calling your house manager all kinds of names, and then you train your children. This thing of teaching children to call house managers aunties, do you go to do your boss's sons call you auntie, and your boss's uncles call you auntie? That is a question I always ask. This is what Ellie,
Yogabi, you'd
this
be
is
thrown
why we
stones
are
at.
here. No. I am just asking a question. This thing of calling our house managers aunties and forcing our children to call them aunties, call them by
Yeah.
their name. Because when I go to the office and my
Mm.
boss's son comes there, he doesn't call me auntie and I don't call him uncle. I refer to him by his name because he's an employer. He's an employee. Ako kazi na niko kazi, or he's my employer. So I refer to him by name. That helps to set the boundaries. It helps to set etiquette. You know, it helps to set an understanding. This person knows hapa umekuja kazi. You know, and this person knows hapa umekuja kazi. You have not come to watch TV the whole day, Eli. You have not come to cook 3-4 times. Atukisikia njaa unaenda jikoni. Hata mimi nikienda job kwa ofisi, I don't eat the whole day. I eat probably at lunch. I have lunch break for 30 minutes. And I'm even lucky if I have lunch break for 30 minutes. So if you understand, if you deal with house managers at that level, then you stop having some of these challenges that we are having, Eli. Yes.
Well,
To
Nyokabi,
the next.
quite mouthful there, I will say, and we have to chew into those words. Important facts that you mentioned, as you say, about sourcing, and I see in the comment section. Let's just go there quick enough to be able to involve everybody that is coming and joining the show. Remember, this is Family Edition coming to you live with Nyokabi GK Kamau, relationship coach, and I'm Likuyani Eli. Remember to send in your comments with the hashtag @InHeartResponding to live. So, Nyokabi,
Yes.
do you understand all the way down or all the way up?
We start all the way down, going up, as you like it.
Okay, just like I wanted. In Kenya, there is no repeatable name for an adult. Children feel auntie or uncle is respectable. Well, we will.
Ellie,
Yes.
do not move that comment right there. I want to talk about that particular comment. And I want to use 2 examples. I want to use 2 words. The difference between respect and the difference between discipline. Because this is where the confusion comes in, Ellie. Respect is earned. Discipline is instilled. Those are 2 different things. You instill discipline in a person. Discipline is a culture, is an installation that you're given, is a culture. Let me use the word, is a culture. But respect, you earn respect. Just because you're an older person, it doesn't mean that I should automatically respect you even when you carry yourself disrespectfully. And please don't bash me on the comments. Don't go off on me at, oh, do you disrespect your grandmothers and your grandfathers because they don't deserve your respect? Respect is earned. And this is what I mean when I say about respect is earned. Being as a younger person, Ellie, I find myself in very, let me say, senior positions. And people who are older than me are in lower positions. And they have a problem respecting me at that position that I'm at because I'm younger than them. Because as an African community, we associate age with respect, which should not be the case. Because you should earn respect. When you earn respect, you're more like, that person is more likely to hold you with high esteem. When you impose respect, then this person is not able to truly and honestly respect who you are. I don't know whether I'm making sense, Ellie. You shouldn't just respect me because I'm older. You should respect me because I have earned that respect. So please, parents, stop confusing the difference between being disciplined and being respectful. Those are 2 different things. And calling somebody auntie does not mean you respect them. And it doesn't mean that you're disciplined either. Next comment.
Gilbert Ruere, all the way in Mombasa, says, Nyokabi and Eli, we source them from Uganda. And this is a topic I want us to discuss later on because there's something interesting about what fact he has mentioned about sourcing, where we get our helps from.
Yes.
MC Ashi says he's watching us from Mesopotamia. I have no idea where that is. I believe that is not in the US, but that is in America.
Yes, America hapa. Stone throw away.
Okay, Wycliffe Gaddafi says watching from his bedside table. Thank you. Guys can be funny here. Thank you for the jokes. It helps us walk through. Thalamus Dimosh, who says, at evening, my learned friends watching from Islands. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Kipro Roda and Seraphine, Miss Jane Jeu, Karibu Sana to the discussion. So, Nyokabi.
Yes.
Interesting facts you've mentioned again, I repeat, because when it comes to anti wakupika na anti wakuosha, it is always a story. But somebody asks me a question, Nyokabi, even as we continue with this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
All said and done, you have sourced, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You have trained. Question number one that comes is, how much do you pay your help? And why I'm
Well,
asking this, it's because before
uh,
you respond, why I'm asking is because I saw an advert somewhere on Facebook and people were really angry about it, very angry and furious. The lady demands what they are looking for somebody they can hire who
mm-hmm.
speaks English, gone to school, can play with the kids, and can be very responsible and clean at home. Their job will be to cook, to play with the kids, to teach them how to write, and they'll be paying them 7,000 shillings at the end of the month. That is about $70. What do you make of that?
That's a fair amount. 7,000. That is what huwa analipa vizuri. Congratulations. How much do you pay your help or your house manager? This Eli, hebu nisomee hiyo jina yenye umeandika hapo kwanza before uandike hapo how much do you pay.
Which name have I written where?
The one that is there before this family edition dash how
Yes,
much do
yeah.
you pay for your
Remuneration.
Eli, ujaluo itakumaliza.
Remuneration.
What is that?
Remuneration is what you pay. Remuneration is talking about paying for a service that has been acquired or rendered or goods.
Now,
Okay, this word, Nyokabi cannot pronounce it because she ate too much
no.
bananas.
Mm, I
Okay, go
don't
ahead.
appreciate that it's there. Now, how to answer the question, how much do you pay your house manager? Now, this is up to the individual and their ability to negotiate. Ellie, do you know there are people who are employed by the same company? They're both of them
Mm,
are drivers, both of them
mm,
make deliveries to different parts of this country, and they are paid
mm,
differently because
mm,
of their ability to negotiate, their level of education, and many other things. But what I believe as an individual is that the government should have a standard minimum wage fee for every person who provides household management services. There should be a minimum wage bill that somebody should be paid maybe 3,000. That should be the minimum. Then from there, it is dependent on the person who has employed you, their
mhm,
ability to pay you the amount that you're asking for, and the
mhm,
work task that's there ahead of you. Because you know, the somebody who has 10 children is not the same as somebody who has one child. So you cannot expect those two house managers to be paid the same way. And there's also the other fact, Ellie, that has been really going on social media, is that the issue of this person is using your soap, brushing their teeth with your toothbrush, eating your food, sleeping with your house. So some of these expenditures that you'd expect they would have, they have already been taken care of. So the money that they are making is going into their pocket tax free. That is number one. Number two, when you are sourcing this particular person, at what stage of life are they? Because then again, if this person has a family, has children, has a spouse, then as much as they are living in your house, they still have this responsibility weighing heavily on their shoulders. So then again, you can't come out and say, because I'm giving them accommodation, then I cannot include accommodation in their salary, because still they are paying for the accommodation of their children and their family. But if it is a single person, again, it narrows down to what is your understanding with this person? What conversations have you had? If I have a trained house manager, I'll definitely not pay her the same as somebody who myself I will take through training. But for me, I say the training is neither here nor there, unless that
mm,
person has done hospitality. Eli, they have gone through to the school of catering, they know how to cook like professionals. They have gone through to schools of cleaning and maintenance and decluttering. Then they come in and bring in that particular kind of an expertise into the home. Then I wouldn't pay them the same. But if I still have to train you myself how to cook chapatis, how to fold clothes, how to wash the bathroom, how to disinfect, I will not pay you at the same level that I would pay somebody. It's like now saying the janitor should be paid the same price as the manager in the same office. So it
mhm,
depends on what skills is this person bringing in, what is the conversation between you and your employer, the employee and the employer, what is my capacity as your employer to pay you, how much can I afford to pay you? So it really comes down to the conversation that what we are asking for, Haley, is humanity. As you deal with this person, have some humanity, have some level of humanity. And as you source them, understand
Mhm.
what kind of a person do you want, at what point in life do you want them to be at. Because if I have children at school early and I have come to work for you and you pay me 3,000, sasa ni school fees, ni chakula, so you'll find that now this person now begins to look for the extra money that they need from your house. They take your sukari, anachukua unga, anapelekea watoto, because what you're paying them isn't really helping, and they're doing it because they need it. They are doing it because they have no any other choice early. So payment is sensitive, Baba.
Nyokabi, you know why I've been silent? One,
Mhm.
just for the info, and sometimes people might think we are misleading, but no, we are not misleading. We say there are
Mm.
some guidelines that government has to set, and one of the guidelines is the government set 7,000 as the basic minimum wage. And
Yes.
I believe somebody has actually mentioned it in the, yeah, Salama Tayo has actually said it in the comment section. And I was talking to our learned friend before we did this because I wanted to have the legal aspect of it. And
Mm-hmm.
what he informed me is, in fact, based on the town,
Mm-hmm.
and we will talk about Nairobi, which is the capital, actually the minimum average expected to be paid, it's 11 to 15,000 Kenyan shillings. You mentioned about 7,000 being fair or not fair. That is something subject to discussion. But I'm looking at it this way. The qualification you are looking for is somebody that can be able to give tutoring to a toddler. Mind you, teaching a toddler is the most tedious exercise any teacher will tell you. Ukienda shule, mtoto mwenye haelewi vitu anarudishwaga huko chini. Why? Because that's where the basics are instilled. So you are looking for a tutor in a help. You are
Mm-hmm.
looking for somebody that will be a nanny. You are equally looking for a cleaning service being provided at home, and then you're gonna dismiss them with 3,000 shillings. Well,
Ellie, I want to come back to this issue of money. You're saying that the government has given, and I remember when this debate came out, when His Excellency actually gave this directive and decided that the house manager should be paid between 7,000 to 15,000. But what I want to ask is this, Ellie, is it
mhm,
realistic when me myself, my minimum wage isn't that much? Because
that
most
is the
Kenyans,
debate.
yes, because most Kenyans are earning between 30,000. In fact, 30,000 is even a lot of money. Let's be real, Ellie. Let's not sit on the
Mhm,
crowds sometimes. Let's be real.
mhm,
Most of the Kenyans who need house helps are
yeah,
working in shops. The middle class of Kenyans are working in shops. People who work in shops are earn between 15,000 all the way to 10,000. How am I going to pay a house girl for 15,000 when I'm earning 15,000 myself? You see, some of these regulations don't make sense. If there was a regulation for me also to earn more, then I can be able to pay this person more. But if I'm not earning more, then I cannot be able to pay this person more. Am I making sense? Let us look at our
mhm,
civil servants and you look at the classes that they are at. Actually, at E class G are the ones that are paid the highest,
mhm,
30,000. Sasa 30,000, mtu ako supposed kufanya nini na 30,000? Is it rent? Is it food? Is it school fees? Is it transport from where you live to your place of assignment? So some of these things, when we discuss terms of payment, and that's why I said
mhm,
it's between you and your employer. Because when you come demanding I pay you 15,000 early and I can't afford, and I can't be able to pay you that much. If I'm earning 20,000, if I'm earning 25,000, if my salary is 15,000, how then am I supposed to pay you 15,000? Do you want to put me in a position where I have to disclose my salary to my house manager so that they can accept to work with me? And then again, I came again to the same level and I told you the janitor and the manager cannot be paid the same. You cannot be paid the same as somebody who has actually gone to school of hospitality. Mtu ameenda Hilton akasoma about hospitality, catering and cooking and cleanliness. You cannot pay the same as mtu mwenye ametoka ushago huko amekuja na Nairobi kujifunza, right? So if you're asking these things of the person who is coming into your home and you have said my capacity is this much, the person who is willing to work with this much, then they can come in and they work with that much. But we cannot say that house managers must be paid this much. What if, and majority of Kenyans, I don't know whether you saw on Facebook these statistics that had come out, that they're
mhm.
saying the minimum wage of Kenyans they earn is 60,000 or 75,000, and the middle is 100,000 and something, And then the highest is 600,000. And I was thinking, which country, which Kenya, where do I live? I was asking everybody, where do I, what do they mean? These statistics wametoa
I
wapi?
think
Because
you've
if
been adopted elsewhere in your country.
ukiongea mambo ya pesa unanifanya sukari inapanda. Hata civil servants, they are not earning that much. Look at the police. Look at the nurses who are the people who are providing for us. Look at people who work in government and county offices, how much they are earning. And those are the majority people in this country. Middle class are the majority in this country. So when we start talking about paying house helps 15,000, surely mimi hapana, mimi siko kwa hiyo ndege nimeshuka na niwachwe nyuma, because we have to negotiate at the level we are at. But if you're talking about these guys who live in Kitusuru, these guys wanafanyanga house managers wavae uniform na anaendanga supermarket na driver. If those are the guys we are talking about, then those people, they can afford to pay that much. And the government should actually force them to pay that much. But sisi wa Kenya waachane na sisi. Leave us alone.
Nyokabi and the other Kenyans, we totally understand you, but the conversation here is about how we can actually integrate the house managers, pay them fairly, treat them fairly, and make them feel welcome in that particular home. So we're going to take a short break. When we are back, we have so much to discuss, including the exploitation of domestic helps and mistreatment. This is something that has happened a lot, including in and out of our country. Let's get into that discussion with Nyokabi GK Kamau. My name is Likuyani Eli.
I believe that's our society. That's how we formed our society. That's how we have chosen to react to issues, to treat issues with a lot of casualty, with a lot of I don't care attitude. It's a matter of what our society has evolved into.
But then you find that because we do not have values, then society defines us, and society defines what is man enough and what is not. It is society that has defined this for us. And because we have not inculcated the right value system in our generation, in our youth as they grow up, then we are breeding monsters.
Indeed, this is Art in Heart. You are watching the Family Edition with Nyokabi GK Kamau and Likuyani Eli every single Saturday from 9:30 p.m. East African Time, 8:30 p.m. Central European Summer Time. Topic of discussion tonight, we are talking about the house managers, those very important, but again, referred to as insignificant helps in our homes. Nyokabi GK Kamau was on fire before we took the break because of the payment terms and the statistics that says she's been earning 600K. Nyokabi has been coming for a loan. Let's go to the comment section first. Let's go to the comment section and find out what the viewers are saying. Let's have the viewers' view. Nyokabi Saran Jonjo says, I agree with Salama. You can't afford to pay one. Jisaidie, and if ni lazima, get a professional one, then pay your 7,000. Okay. Let's see. Lumasai says 3K, it's a no. But the ones I've met ask from 10,000, and my jaws are like, what? Another asks for 15K, and you have to train her from point to stop Z. Okay. Interesting.
From point A to
Interesting.
Z.
Yeah, wamama wanalalamika. Wamama.
Yes.
Kipro says, most people may not understand why we need house managers. It's not about sitting around the house. Okay, we'll get into that conversation. Salama, she's really enthusiastic about this topic and says, then pay them fairly because most are young girls who have dreams. And 3K won't help them achieve that, even if they save 100%. Let's be realistic. Gaddafi, on the other hand, says, Sasa sisi bouncers tuwekewe minimum wage ya kusindikiza wadosi. Okay, fine.
I agree.
Who
I
else
agree
is
with
here?
you.
Yeah, and very true. Nancy agrees with the point you're saying about you have to consider the salaries and the how much you earn against how much you can pay, and this is a conversation we still need to continue having. Remember, this is the family edition. We are talking about house managers. Yokabi, before we left for the break, I mentioned that we need to talk about the exploitation of domestic helps. And this is not something that just happens at home in Kenya, for that matter. We've had several cases of people going to the Middle East, and we hear horrible stories about themselves. But most of the time, we will look at those stories. How about what happens at home right in Kenya? Nyokabi.
Oh, mistreatment and exploitation of domestic and this is why I think earlier I had covered this particular topic when I was starting indirectly, but now I can cover it directly. I said during the stage of searching and sourcing and training, and I say the confusion that comes in with house managers is that we don't treat them like professionals. We treat them, we first of all, we have not categorized them. We don't enter into binding contracts. We don't set boundaries. We don't define the responsibilities and obligations for this, the obligations of the employer and the responsibility of the employee. We do not define where the relationship stands at. So you bring somebody into your home. You've told them they are coming to your house to be your house managers, but you make them do everything for you, including cleaning your innerwears and cleaning your handkerchiefs and, and doing all manner of things that are not necessary. And that's why we said at the beginning of this, in order to avoid this mistreatment and this exploitation, understand, define your work will be starting at 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. or it will be starting at this. Agree on the hours, because some of the things, the exploitation aspect of this is somebody wakes up at 4 in the morning, they go to sleep at midnight. How many hours are those that you're making somebody be on their feet, on their back, their whole day, cleaning after you, running after you? And that's why we are saying in the beginning, as this person comes into the home, have a conversation, have an understanding, treat them like professionals and let them carry themselves as professionals. And one of the ways of ensuring that you're carrying yourself as a professional is letting them know, hapa umekuja kazi na kazi yenye imekuleta ni 1 2 3 things. Your working hours are from point A to point B. When that time comes, you're free to go and sleep, you're free to watch TV if there's a TV available to you. You set the boundaries and the rules. Let the person know this is your space, this is the family space, and it's not being cruel defining that. Because for me, I don't go sitting in the manager's office. Sasa wewe umekuja umekaa sitting room kwa kiti ya bwana yangu, what's going to happen? So set those conversations so you avoid that mistreatment of and ukae jikoni. Understand where this person stands. I like where homes that have servant quarters, because this person knows akimaliza kazi yake anatoka anaenda servants quarter. They have access to their own TV, they have access to their own rooms, they have access to their own bathrooms, they have access to everything where they need in an ideal situation. But because we live in apartments, in small houses. We live in 2-bedroom houses and 3-bedroom houses. You know, we don't have the luxury of this person having their own space. Then because they're within and they're part of your space, then define a particular space for them and where they can sit. If we put those boundaries in place early, we will avoid these mistreatments, we will avoid these exploitations, because we'll be treating with this person as a professional. Amekuja hapo kazi, responsibility zake ziko defined. And that's why I said at the beginning, don't just say that you're coming to be a house manager. What are your responsibilities? Number one, cooking. Does cooking include serving? And if there is serving, is it bringing me food at my lap, or is it serving the food and leaving it at the dining table, and then as a family we will take the food from there? When it comes to the issue of doing laundry, what is included and what is excluded of that laundry? Kuna nguo za watoto, kuna nguo za watu wazima, kuna bed sheets, kuna innerwears, kuna handkerchiefs. Are all those things included as part of the laundry? When it comes to shoes, are shoes part of the laundry? When it comes to cleaning of the home, what are we talking about? Are we talking about bathrooms and floors and carpets and seats? All those things. Have a clear understanding. And I believe if we have a clear understanding with our house managers, then the issue of exploitation, first of all, it will be out the table. As a human being, ask yourself, what time do you go to the office, or what time do you go to your place of work? How many hours do you work? And when you leave work, do you come with your work home? Or does your boss keep calling you at 11 o'clock in the night or at midnight to ask you, iyo report unatuma saa ngapi? Does your boss call you at midnight to ask you? Then why do you call your house manager at midnight to make for you a cup of tea? Si uamke ujipikie hiyo chai. Si assume hata yeye ametoka ameenda kwake. You know, the same way you have left the office and you have come home. Allow this person space. Is it realistic, Ellie, to wake somebody at 4 a.m. in the morning and then they go to sleep at midnight or even at 2 o'clock in the morning? Surely huyo msichana analala 1 hour or 2 hours. Is it fair? Is it humane? Even if you're paying them how much, is it humane? Right? So these are the things we are talking about mistreatment. Let's talk about physical abuse. I'm coming there early. I want to ask you a question. How would you feel if you're going? Sometimes it's good to reflect back on yourself, because it's easier to see the other person than to see yourself. How would you feel if you went to your place of appointment, especially if you're a businessman? Wewe umeenda kwa client kumpelekea simu, unamuzia simu, amekuchapa. Juli alikutuma opo ukaleta ziomi. Amekushika makofi, amekuchapa makofi mbili. These are some of the things. Am I your child? Because I have come to work in your home, have I become your child? I have come there as a professional. Nimekuja hapo kufanya kazi yenye imekushinda. Juu ungekuwa umeweza, haungeniita. So the role that I'm playing in your home, you must also respect it, so that even this person is able to respect. And by the way, when I talk about this, I am using the word respect, Ellie. I am not saying that you msichana amekuja hapo amekuwa sister yako, that you treat her like your sister. You are not sisters. Your boss does not treat you like their daughter or their cousin. They treat you like an employee. So treat them with the respect of an employee. Understand each other. I am your employer, you're my employee. This is your work. This is my responsibility. These are my obligations. Do your part, I do my part. Tukishindwa, we terminate the contract respectfully. You go your way, I go my way. Just because you live in my house, you don't become my daughter. Ati sasa umenikasirisha na kuita hapo na kuchapa, I discipline you like a child. Or I call you names, or because I had a bad day, I vent out and take it out on you. Sometimes it's about being human. Reflecting back on yourself and put on the shoes of this person and ask yourself, where I work, how would I feel if the conditions that I'm putting this girl in are the same conditions that I'm at? And we talk about house girls, we forget we also have house boys that also work in the same conditions. They have worse conditions than the girls. Kijana ni yeye anaoshanga gari kila siku asubuhi saa 10 asubuhi in the morning. Why does the car need to be washed at 4 a.m. in the morning? Unatokanga kwenda ofisi 4 a.m. in the morning. Wewe ukiambiwa uoshe gari 4 a.m. asubuhi utaweza? You know some of these things, Ellie, when we talk about mistreatment, you know there are people who think that because mimi sichapangi msichana wangu wa kazi na simtukani, you're not mistreating them. But anaamka 4 a.m. analala saa 8. Huyo msara amelala 1 hour. You're mistreating them. Wewe shamba boy wako anamkanga saa 10 kukuoshea gari. Na utatoka saa 2. Why does the car have to be washed at 4 in the morning? These are the questions we are asking. Why does the shamba boy have to wait for you until midnight akufungulia gate? Wewe mudhamaki, your highness, your majesty.
Nyokabi, do you know this is a serious discussion and you keep making me laughing?
No. These are the mistreatment and exploitations we are talking about. You know, people will say, oh, me, I don't mistreat my house girl. Oh, me, I don't miss. Na wewe, your royalty. Uko kwa club, your banjuka in, bazu. Hadi saa 9. Mtoto wa wenyewe hawezi lala. Amekungojea wewe, your highness, kuja kufungulia gate. You're mistreating this person. You are inconsiderate. Na akiingia hapo unamwambia nimekuja na nyama hapo, toa upatie umbwa. Surely at midnight umbwa hata zenyewe zimelala. Nani ndo nakula hizo nyama? These are the things we are talking about, Eli, and we want to touch them where they hurt, so that we create sensitization, so that somebody becomes aware. When you call msichana wako wa kazi, how do you refer to them? Wewe. Sasa wewe ni nani? Na mama yake alimpea jina Njeri Njoki. You just train yourself until ukumbuke hiyo jina.
Even if sometimes it's difficult to say Njeri, you can say Njeli.
Yeah,
because it happens.
It's okay.
Nyokabi is on fire, and I believe there's a reason for that. Let's go to the comment section. We have Jekita who says, define rules, install respect, keep good communication and relationships, but have distance. You are not friends with your house manager. It's important. Keep distance. They stay your employee. Define the rules. Awesome. Yes. Kipro, on the other hand, says, Atin Heart is responding to life, but this is a person you live together. Let her go sit alone in the room after work, not unless she wants to. Okay? If she would love to take a break and go to her room, let her take her break and go to her room. Yes, but if she wants to stay in the living space and enjoy, let it also be freedom, because she equally is a member of that family. We have Salamat Hayo who says, if you don't want them to watch TV when your husband is around, how about getting them a TV in their own room? Yeah. Now, they even don't need TV actually. You just install and make sure they have good Wi-Fi. And after, I know some people are going to look at me strangely. I say with Wi-Fi because that's how I liked it. And if you want to say Wi-Fi, that's your own problem. So they can have the internet connection and connect whatever soaps they want to watch, and they can do it. So give them that. Rafi, on the other hand, says, you cannot compare your managers, your house managers with your office works. Still don't mix. I don't know why. We will find out why. And this is something I want us to discuss. It is not because they are the house managers that we should not respect them. And I think it is becoming one of the most repeated words here: respect, respect, respect. Nyokabi, being in sitting room, I make sure you insecure about your husband. That's why you talked about it. Or most married women make life difficult due to insecurity of their men. You are so insecure when you when Bazoo passes and you see Auntie there, you start shaking.
Wycliffe, this is not personal. Mimi sinanga house manager. So I have nothing to be insecure. Na nikileta naleta mwenye anakaa mama yake. Hawezi cheza na yeye.
Utamleta mpira na uamwambie usicheze nayo. You want to find that which is...
I am not foolish. I'm a wise woman.
Nyokabi. The conversation continues. Remember to use the hashtag @inheart responding to live. Tag me, Likuyani, Ellie, and Nyokabi. GK Kamau. Awesome. Nyokabi.
Yes.
I know we don't want to explore what is happening in the Middle East for obvious reasons, because they can get into bilateral discussions and we don't want to offend people there. But we know it is happening, and our hope and trust is that people can actually handle people humanly. But we asking us, how then do you create, creating family-friendly environment for your house help? How do you do that? How do you create a family-friendly environment?
First of all, like we said at the beginning, is an issue of setting boundaries, guidelines. Have a blueprint of how you relate with this person. what is okay with you, what is not okay with you, what's okay with them, what's not okay with them. If you don't want them to sit and join you after dinner because it's your family time and this person isn't part of your family, and I don't like that people keep saying this person is a part of their family. They are not part of your family. They are there to bring professionalism. They are there to help with household chores. They are not there to become your sister and your brother and your cousin. They are there, wako kazi, amekuja kazi. The problem is anaishi hapo kwenye kazi yake iko. Okay, the same way the watchman does not become part of the family, anakanga hapo nje kwa kanyumba yake, the house manager should also have the same. So if you're not comfortable with this person joining you as a family because it is your family time in the evening as you watch TV, like we said, make an effort and make provisions for this person to also get their own entertainment, right? That they can also enjoy, so that you stop fighting over the remote. Ya nataka kuona Kondo shows Mia, wewe unataka kuona machachari. So you have an understanding of that freedom. Number two, if you are going to get
It's
involved
okay.
in
Nyokabi, afadhali Kondo na Shoshmia ziliisha. Kuna kitu ilikuwa imekuja hapo, wa mama wanagangania. Kuna Maria sijui na nani. I thank God that thing is over. It was a good series, but I thank God it's over. Maria, it's all right. Continue.
I'm old school. I only remember Kondo shows Mia. When it comes to family activities, when you're doing family activities, you know what I normally say? And I talk to mothers, young mothers, especially young mothers. If you're going to go with your house girl for a family activity, kwa nini umfanye madharau? Ati watoto wakule sausage na yeye asikule sausage. If you take them for the family activity, there's a part where you want them to participate, there's a part where you don't want them to participate. But when it comes to issues food, when it comes to issues, humane issues, allow that person to enjoy that privilege. I really despise those women who come with their house managers to restaurants na anaambia house manager akae huko kwa parking lot, anamuita tu akuja achukue mtoto ama akuja apatie mtoto chakula, then anamdismiss like they're not human beings. Leave them at home. Those are your children. You can handle them for 1 hour. Handle them. If you don't want this person to be part of the family activities, again, it comes down to the respect. Because when it comes to mistreatment, people expect hizi vitu kubwa kubwa ndio mistreatment. I have seen people who make their house managers wear uniform to church. To church. Sasa amevaa uniform kukuja kanisa nini? Watu wa petrol station wanaenda na uniform zao za petrol station kanisa. Surely, just because you have asked this person to accompany you, allow them to also dress up and look nice and join you. If you don't want them to join you with your family, also make provisions for them. Take those things into consideration. Because again, sometimes it becomes very difficult to mellow this person and actually make them a part of the family. Sometimes it becomes challenging, and I understand. I'm one person who struggles with that a lot. I'm one person who doesn't want to cross those lines. So I understand when somebody is struggling with incorporating this person into family activities, but have humane behavior. If you're going for your family tour, mume decide munaenda swim sijui nini, where you are a mother, handle your children for 1 hour. Feed your baby for once. Hata ujua nakulanga aje, and you know how much amount of food this child eats. Take responsibility for your children. Mupatie your day ikue yake ya off, hata yende akaone boyfriend. Give this person, treat them like human beings, because I don't understand why people carry their house managers to go to church ashinda akishika mtoto ni wako ama ni wa house manager. These are some of the things we are saying. It is an opportunity for you to interact with your own babies. So if you don't want this person to be part of that family activity, stop carrying them around ndio ende ukamuonesha yeye si part of familia yenyu, because you're hurting this person. They are human beings, and in the process they will get back at you one way or the other. So instead of putting this person in a position where their feelings are hurt, you're making them feel offended because you don't want them to be part of the family, then leave them behind and give them enough and go take care of your own. You run after your own children. You keep feeding your own. Mubembeleze hadi akule ashibe. Or wacha akae njaa hiyo siku aende akakule jioni kama msichana ndio anampeanga chakula na shiba. These are the things we are talking about, Ellie. Don't be selfish. Don't be selfish. Don't be self-centered. Don't be, if you want to for them, if they stay a certain period of time, there's a point that a house manager gets that they become part of the family because they have stayed with you so long. They have brought up your children. But the problem with making the house managers part of your family is that they become familiar with you and they forget ako kazi. Now you start having issues of respect. Ukimtuma chai anakwambia, ai, mama nani si chai iko hapo juu ya dining, si hata wewe uchukue. You know, so they start becoming familiar with you and we start crossing the line. So in order to avoid that, let's have clearly defined obligations and responsibility, and let each person meet their obligation and their responsibility. If we take this person to family activities, let's plan, let's think through how they are going to be involved, how they are going to participate. And that's my take, Ellie. That's my take when it comes to house managers.
I have a different school of thought, Nyokabi, on a few things you've mentioned. Let's go to the
Yes.
food, for example.
Yes, Ellie.
I have a feeling if you have a house that consists of more than 5 family members, and I'm talking about
Yes.
the father, mother, and children, what if both of you are working, that is the man and the woman in the house are working, you come back home late. What if auntie would actually sit down and have a meal with the children? And during that time, it's not her time to work, but it's equally her time to decompress and enjoy herself. That's one thought. Like she has actually a family time. She can equally set up everything for you guys. And when you come home, you go home your plate by yourself so that at that time you are tending to your kids and attending to your husband or wife without having that feeling like you are segregating her. That is just a thought. The other
Yes.
part about family excursions and going out and enjoying yourself. I've seen this a lot, whereby I was somewhere sometime on the beach in a beach around here around, and I was so disgusted on how a woman was handling the help. You could clearly tell they are the help.
Yes.
Yeah, and the poor lady was carrying all their bags. Give me the sunscreen. She has to run. They said, why is the baby going to the water? Go get the baby. She's running. By the time she's running by, she's being hurt. Why is the umbrella flying all over? I mean, if you feel they are not human enough to enjoy that time with you as a family, what if you actually gave them time off when you're going to have your excursions?
Yeah.
And you could equally pay them to go do their nails or go do their hair. That time you're away during the whole day, you say, okay,
Yeah.
auntie, you know what? Your nails, zimechipuka. Go do your nails. It will cost you about 2-3K, depending on where you take you go for, so that she feels taken care of. Instead of you say, yeah, I'm going to a more expensive place, it will look a little bit uncomfortable spending 10K on her for one meal and then paying her 3K. It doesn't resonate. What if I do the inverse? Tell her, okay, I'll pay for you to go do your nails or probably go have a massage. I don't know. That could be one way of creating a family-friendly environment for your help. Because once you create enmity and that tension, as you say, they get back at you. We've seen videos, very disturbing images of house helps terrorizing children. And they know you've put their cameras for them. So they do it so that you can know. By the time you're there and discover that, you have a dead baby. We saw other one that was actually, did they cut the child or whatever, they slashed the children and they were running away? Everybody was pointing, accusing fingers, but did we for once stop and think what might have been going through their mind? And again, Nyokabi, that is my 2 cents. So let's get to the comment section, find out what people are saying, and equally come and have a conclusion. Wow. Njekita again says, I don't know if you had highlighted that, Nyokabi. She says, and most of the times, these people forget they give bad examples to their children. What are the values you teach to your children with that kind of behavior? I believe there's a very long conversation happening that I didn't get, but we'll get to it. Go ahead, Nyokabi.
Yes. It is a very interesting conversation that's going on here on the comment section. Oh God, what have I highlighted? I wanted to highlight something different.
About from I see something from Salama there.
Uh
Can you be able to see that, Nyokabi? and
Or
put it on full
sidelining
screen.
them all the time. Thank you. Sidelining them all the time is a recipe for trouble. It's true that those activities that you get to learn their character since you are always at work. Yes, I agree that yes, you should also invite them to those activities, but they take them into consideration. Don't invite them and then segregate them and kazi ni kumtuma yeye ndio messenger all the time. So it's an opportunity that you also see how they interact with children. But I always say interact with your own children. Mtoto ni wako. It's your time to just interact with them. I have this comment. I had highlighted it before, Ellie, because I like it a lot. And it says, first, I don't understand those people who need to have their house managers with them for their personal activities. Secondly, when you mix personal and professional, this is how you bring future troubles. And that's what we have been saying the whole night. We are saying that separate the relationships. Let there be professionalism through and through. So I don't know if I have missed any comment, Ellie. Nancy is saying my house manager was with us for more than 15 years, and yes, she has become part of our family. She always did a good job, and we respected her for the value she brought to our family. Yes, this is somebody who becomes a part of the family. This is even somebody you will find that you end up educating them and giving them an opportunity to go a different direction, because this is somebody who has stayed with you 15 years. Is somebody who has brought up a toddler to teenagehood. So it's basically somebody who is part of this family. But I've also seen people who also cross the line after they have stayed too long. They become too familiar with their employer. Kipron Roda says that hashtag responding to life now, that is extra.
Exaggerated is the word.
What is
That is
exaggerated?
that is now exaggerated. I think there's a conversation that is happening about the
What happened
uniform
giving
thing,
them?
the uniform
Oh,
thing, and the working like slaves, and that is
unajua,
exaggerated. And I know people don't even give their house managers day offs, Nyokabi.
yes, they stopped. And Sundays used to be days off for house managers. I don't know who changed that rule, wakasema ati sasa Sunday lazima house manager akufuate kwa kanisa na munyonyi na chakula ya mtoto na nguo za kuchange na yeye aende akakimbize mtoto huko nje when you are inside the church. I really, by the way, Ellie, for me, I really despise such people. They really turn me off. I really wonder, how much help do you need with your own children? How irresponsible do you have to be as a parent that you cannot be with your child for 1 hour without help? I really wonder. It really just fascinates me. So as when I saying you cannot kudharau mtu na kizungu is
You cannot despise somebody
yes,
until
mtu
you
hadi
put them into depression 24 hours a day, 7 days
uniform.
a week in their uniform, work uniform, until they have no peace of mind. That is
Yeah,
exaggerated.
yeah.
Earlier on, Anne Lumasai said familiarity breeds contempt, and that's very true. Always set
Yes.
out boundaries. Johnny Lefty, Mombasa
Anasema
wanaitwa auntie. They become auntie. Once you become part of the family, they call you auntie by default. And sometimes it's good to actually set out those differences in terms, respective differences. We have some extra house helps make some women develop laziness habits. They can't even groom their kids or children when they are around. And
and
I honestly,
and I agree with Wycliffe, because you see, these are the parents we are talking about, Ellie, that they need to go with their house managers to church. They need to go with their house managers for family activities. They need to go with their house managers to the toilet because they can't handle their child for 1 hour. These are the people who wake up the house manager at midnight akupikie chai. Why? Why? Wake up and do it yourself. I mean, take some time, be with you, let even the children interact with you so that they even tell you this happened to me, I don't know. Growing up, our helps had days off on Wednesdays. Yes, they were so good to us and the respect was never lost because huyo mtu akona maisha yake. Lakini siku hizi Eli, people just, I don't know, Eli, things are just funny.
well,
There's a question here. Someone is asking, should house managers clean your clothes and your husbands? That's absurd,
absurd.
I think. No, it's not absurd. I think we said we define the laundry. If it's general clothes, they should clean all the clothes, because now again you're employing a house manager because you don't have the time to do the household chores. What I have an issue with, Salma, is the issue of innerwears. The innerwears, and let's call them what they are: bra, boxers, biker, panty, and handkerchief. Even a handkerchief is part of your innerwears because it receives fluids from you. So those are some of the things that I feel that the house manager should not be forced to clean. Right? They shouldn't be made to clean your boxers. They shouldn't be made to clean your panties. They should. And you know, there are people who are funny, Ellie, out there. They make
Mhm.
house managers wash their innerwears, and that's just disgusting. That's just disgusting, if you ask me.
I would say I find it disgusting equally
Yeah.
because those are your, it's equally asking somebody to hold your essentials. That's
Yeah.
that's more of it. And the only person that should do that, if it's not your husband, should be your wife or your partner.
Yes. Or yourself.
Ladies, let me speak to you. Most of the time, you are given that great responsibility of hiring your managers, especially at home. For a minute, I want you to sit down and imagine your daughter or son is the one tending to other people's needs with the same conditions you're giving to that lady or gentleman working at your place, which is your home. How happy would you be as a mother? Well, we all have responsibilities, and so do they. Question is, where does humanitarian feelings come into play, and where does professionalism step in? My name is Likuyani Eli. Do join me every single Saturday with Nyokabi GK Kamau on the Family Edition. But let me allow her to give her handles as we conclude tonight.
I want to answer this question that has been asked here, Ellie, as I give my advice as I close. Who should cook, the wife or the house manager? In our Kikuyu community, I recently discovered that my husband should not be served by any other woman unless I want that woman to take care of everything else other than serving him. It is okay for for your house manager to cook, but when it comes to the part about service, again, this is the line we don't want to cross. We are clearly defining where the limit is. When it comes to serving your husband, kindly just serve your husband. Just go to the kitchen, put the food in the plate, and come and place it on the table for your husband, or put it in the laps. It would not take you more than 3 seconds or 3 minutes to do that. So if you leave everything to your house manager, then what role are you playing? What value are you bringing to that family? I always say something that my mom taught me and I've never forgotten, that nobody can ever do anything for you the way you can do it yourself. So even as you get a house manager to come into your home, always remember as a wife, that is your home. It doesn't matter whether you're a CEO or you're a cleaner or a sweeper or a watchman at the gate or a senior manager of marketing or whatever title you carry or a magistrate. When you go to your home, nobody can handle your home like you can. And there is nothing a woman has of value like your femininity, your angelic femininity, your ability to keep your house in order. This person should come and find an operating system already. They just fall in place and they follow that system. That if they leave, everything runs. Your children should eat better when you feed them and when you cook, not when the house manager does it. Your children should respond better to you than they respond to your house manager. Your husband should depend on you as the wife. They should not depend on the house manager. They shouldn't ask the house manager, zile socks zangu ziko wapi? Oh, I wanted this particular shirt. Did you iron this particular shirt? Please do not cross that line with your house managers. And the only way you don't cross that line, and please make your own beds. My goodness, ladies, I almost forgot about that one. Please make your own beds in your own bedrooms. Change your own bed sheets. There are women who don't even know bed sheets zilibadilishwa lini. Change your own bed sheets. Make your own bed, because that is your responsibility as a wife, no matter how busy you are. Your home is yours, and only you can keep it at the level that you want. You're the only one who can organize it the way you want it. You're the only one who can wash those dishes the way you want them to be washed. This person is solely there to give you a helping hand and not to take over from you, to give you a helping hand. That would be my advice. If you look at them like that, as just someone who is there to give you a helping hand, you will deal with them better. Number two, deal with your house helps on a professional level. Have an understanding of where the relationship is at, how you're going to work together, and honor that agreement. That would be my take on that. Eli, back to you, my brother.
Nyokabi, everybody's loving
Oh, I can
the
see all the
wisdom you're pouring out here. And again, guys, time is not our luxury tonight. We thank you for staying until the end of this class. Remember to continuously share the link. Even for those who didn't watch it, you can send them the link. Let them know what we talked about, and let them be part of the conversation, because we don't just want to have conversations that do not impact. We want conversations that are meaningful. And this can only be found with a wisdom such as from Nyokabi GK Kamau. Do connect with her with the addresses, rather the handles, that is Nyokabi GK Kamau on Facebook, Instagram, that is Nyokabi GK, Twitter equally, and she is on TikTok. +25478081097. That is her contact details. Reach her out for any relationship and family related matters that she can be able to help you. Remember, you can always watch these shows every single Saturday. On Sunday tomorrow night, I have a guest for you. Her name is Alvina Gashugu. We'll be talking with her on Against All Odds. You want to know what is happening? Be there on time. Remember, the shows will be starting as much as possible on time. So stay tuned. Be part of the big growing family of Art in Heart. And above all, respect your house marriages. Thank you once again. Have a great evening, great afternoon, and great night. Good night.